A good room can give you clarity, connection, and momentum. But if you leave the room and do nothing with it, you can waste the very thing that made that room powerful. Tonight, we're talking about that. Don't let a good room go to waste. This is a 30. Let's go. Well, hello there. Welcome to the 30. I am glad that you decided to join us on this another episode. Today we're talking about don't let a good room go to waste. Of course, the 30 is a space and a place for meaningful conversation designed to support your personal, professional, and leadership growth. And I am so happy that you took the opportunity and that you decided to join us here on this new episode. The 30 is a production of the Jackman Group LLC, a leadership and development organization performance firm dedicated to developing leaders, strengthening teams, and helping organizations execute with clarity, alignment, and impact. I am your host. And tonight, I want to talk with you about something that I believe leaders, entrepreneurs, emerging leaders, and professionals need to be reminded of from time to time. Don't let a good room, a great room, go to waste. If you're watching me from on YouTube, certainly go ahead and like the broadcast. You can go ahead and repost it. If you're watching me from YouTube, go ahead and like, but I want you to make sure that you join our channel. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel, The 30 with Patrick. So if you're watching from YouTube, make sure that you do that. You can also like this episode and make sure you send us a comment. Let us know where you are watching from and how can we help you in terms of future episodes going forward. So don't let a good room go to waste, because every now and then we find ourselves in a room that gives us more information, gives us more than we bargained for, gives us more than we were expecting. It gives us energy. It gives us perspective. It gives us connection. And it also gives us some ideas and possibility. That's what a good or great room does. But if we're not careful, we can enjoy the room. We can appreciate the room. We can even talk about how wonderful it was, how great the people were, but still fail to do anything meaningful when we come out of that room. And that's what I want to talk about tonight on tonight's episode. The value of a good room is not only what happens while we're there. The value of the room, the real value of the room, is often revealed in what we do after we leave the room. See, not every room is the same. In some rooms, it's just routine. We're just there. Some other rooms is just transactional. Some are full of people, but empty in value. And you know, we've all been in some of those rooms. But every now and then, we find ourselves in a room where something real is happening. The conversation is strong. The people are great. They're engaging. The connection is wonderful. The ideas are flowing and the ideas are stretching us. And the environment makes us think bigger, makes us think clearer, and makes us move differently. And that's what I call a good or great room. A good or great room sharpens us. It wakes us up to do something that we weren't even thinking about. It confirms something that we've been sensing, that we've been thinking about. Some things it confirms that we've even been praying about. It gives us the language for what we've been carrying. It reminds us that growth is still possible. And those types of rooms, when we come across those rooms, when we are part of those rooms, it truly matters. Because some rooms don't just inform you, they move you. They move you to action. And that's exactly what we are talking about. Folks, that's exactly what happened to us last week in our Leaders and Entrepreneurs Connect. We had a room that was powerful. We were definitely moved. I was definitely moved by the stories that were shared. Others were also moved, equally moved by the stories that were shared. There was so much power in that room. It was engaging. Folks were conversational. The conversation was strong. And I know some connections were formed, even started in the room, but were formed and developed outside of the room. One of the things and one of the questions that we asked, and as we try to connect and we collaborate, some of the things that we do is ask some questions that everyone can share. Everyone can jump in. Everyone, if they're up to it, can talk about where they're going, some of the things that they're working on. And one of those questions was asked by all attendees: what's a project, a goal, or idea that you're working on that excites you, or that you love to collaborate with others on? And that one question, now we asked 4 different questions, but that one question sparked so much discussion. It sparked so much excitement because some of the individuals, some of the attendees, it was amazing that some of them shared that they were working on similar projects or they had similar interests. And you can see you could see the excitement in the room. You can see that people were just waiting to talk about what they were working on or what they had in mind and how could they collaborate with each other. Folks, that told me that we were definitely not just in the right room or a good room, but we were in a great room because there was excitement, there was passion. The room itself was powerful. But we know that what happens in the room is good, is one thing. But the importance of it is when we leave the room, because being in a room itself is a starting point. It's not the finish line. It's not complete. It's the starting point. It's what happens after. So from last week's Leaders and Entrepreneurs Connect, which was in person, later on this year, we're going to be doing something, having one that's going to be virtual. That's probably going to be in the fall sometime. So look out for that. But I'm being asked all the time, when is the next one? When is the next in-person Leaders and Entrepreneurs Connect? And stay tuned, because we're working on something very special. But I want to give a shout out to Eden Coffee and Company in downtown Rochester, who hosted this event for the second time. And they were fantastic. They're always very pleasant. The place is very clean. It's new. It's very appealing. And I want to give a shout out to Jordan and to Lulu, who are the owners of Eden Coffee and Company in downtown Rochester. I'm going to bring them on to the 30 and probably in the coming weeks. And I'd like to hear their story, but I'll also let you hear their story. They're a young couple, and they opened up the cafe or the coffee and company establishment last year. I think it was in November. And it's a great place, and we love being there. We've been there now in terms of the Leaders and Entrepreneurs Connect. This is our second time, and we look forward to going back there and collaborating with them. So if you are in the downtown Rochester area, make sure that you stop by. It's Eden Coffee and Company. I think it's on 200 East Avenue, directly across from Channel 10. Wonderful place. So thanks to them, to Jordan and Lulu for hosting us. But that's what rooms can do. The atmosphere, the environment. But we know, despite the best intentions that we all have as leaders, emerging leaders, professionals, entrepreneurs, despite our best intentions, good rooms can be wasted. Now you may say, well, how can a good room be wasted? A good room gets wasted when all that is discussed, all that we experience, all the discussion, the connections, when that we enjoy it, we leave inspired, we leave motivated, but we fail to act. So the title of this is Don't Let a Good Room Go to Waste. So we're in a good room, we're in a great room, but when we leave that room, there's a lack of action, there's a lack of implementation, a lack of activity. So it becomes a waste, right? We wasted that time. We wasted all the activity in the room, all the action in the room, because we leave and nothing happens after. So when we leave with fresh ideas and we don't apply them, in essence, the good room, the great room, everything that happened in that room goes to waste. When we leave with new relationships, but we don't follow up. When we leave with clarity, but don't make the decision we know we need to make, that's when a good room becomes wasted. Not because we lack value, or not because the room lacks value, but because we as individuals fail to steward the value that came or that was given to us. That's what happens when it becomes wasted. And I think that happens more often than people realize. We can have a meaningful moment, but lose momentum because we never carry the moment forward. We never moved. We never acted upon it. There was no action afterwards. And that's especially important for leaders. As leaders, emerging leaders, and entrepreneurs and professionals, we cannot afford to keep having powerful moments with no follow through, no follow up. We cannot keep saying, well, that was good. That was exciting. It met some great people. Discussion was rich. Oh, and that place was fantastic. But then we go right out and back to the same patterns, back to the same old, same old. We took no action. We don't move forward. We cannot, as leaders and entrepreneurs, emerging leaders, professionals, we cannot keep encountering the right people, hearing the right things, getting the right challenge, and then do nothing with it. Absolutely nothing. We can't keep doing that, because leadership is not just about being exposed to what's right. It's about responding to it. It's about carrying it forward. It's about taking what happened in the room and letting it shape how we think, how we lead, how we connect, and how we move forward. That's where the real value is. See, the room starts something, but our response determines whether it becomes or builds momentum. And that's why continued spaces matter. That's why we at the Jackman Group, we are going to continue providing spaces and opportunity for leaders, emerging leaders, professionals, entrepreneurs. We are going to continue creating spaces and making spaces so that leaders don't make the mistake of assuming that one good experience is enough. We cannot do that. We can't make the mistake that thinking that one good event was enough, one good conversation, one good training, one good coaching experience, or even one breakthrough moment was enough. No, we cannot make that mistake. We got to do more, folks. We have to do more, because we know that growth doesn't happen under one circumstance and one moment. Growth that lasts usually needs continuation. We need to keep going. We need to follow up. Successful people are those that continue or have consistency. If you truly study those that are successful in whatever aspect of life, you will see a number of themes. You will see a number of attributes. But the one key attribute is that they're consistent. They just don't show up today and not show up next week. They are consistent in their actions. They're consistent in their thoughts. They're consistent in the things that they do. So we need to be consistent with our follow through. So in order to move forward, in order to grow, we need consistency. We need more than one room. We need more spaces and more rooms. That's why I believe strongly in staying connected to the right environments. Because the right environment, the right room can start something, but it is continue through us intentionally and deliberately taking action. So, what are we going to do about it? Because we always hear talk is cheap, right? Let's move forward. Let's get action. So we're going to do our part. I'm going to do my part. And part of what we're doing here at the Jackman Group and the 30 is that we are committed to creating spaces where leaders, entrepreneurs, professionals can keep growing intentionally. That's why we're looking ahead. We're not looking to tomorrow. We're looking down the road. We're planning. We're planning for today, tomorrow, Next week, months from now, we are planning because our desire is to help leaders and professionals and entrepreneurs not just be in the room, but to help them when they come out of the room, help them with their plan to continue, give them spaces, provide opportunities for growth. So one of the things that we will continue doing is our Leaders and Entrepreneurs Connect events. We just had one in person on last week, as I told you. We're also going to be planning another one in the next quarter, but we're also in the fall. We're also going to give those that are not in our area. We're going to extend it out, and we're going to give those that are across this country, across the world, we're going to give you an opportunity where we can come together and talk about and meet and talk about what we're doing, what projects, what can we help each other. So we're committed to doing that this year. But another thing that we are committed to, that's coming up here and starting on July 8th, and you can find it in the show's notes, in this episode's notes, is our Impact Leaders Masterclass Wednesday. We started this last year, and it was a hit. So this year, we are bringing it back. And it's going to start July 8th. This is all virtual via Zoom. July 8th, every Wednesday for 5 weeks, from July 8th through, I think it's August 5th. Every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We are going to have a different topic each week, each Wednesday. So 5 Wednesdays are Impact Leaders Masterclass Wednesdays. And we're going to be covering some topics that pertains or relates to leaders, emerging leaders, entrepreneurs, professionals. So you don't want to miss that. So you can go, the link is in the show's notes. Make sure that you click on it to learn more, but more importantly, to register. And next week, I am going to give you a discount code where you can utilize that to have a discount so that you can be in the room. You don't want to miss this. This is an opportunity not only to be in the room, but when you come out of the room, we hope and we know that you will have the knowledge to be more impactful, because we'll challenge you to move when you're not in the room. So that is our Masterclass Wednesdays, and that's beginning July 8th. Registration is open now. So make sure that you go to the link. The link is in this episode's show notes. Click on the link, learn more information, get more information, learn more, but more importantly, register. Don't delay. The other thing that we're doing, we're creating a new opportunity. We've heard from our clients, we've heard from our attendees, we've heard some from our friends. We are creating a community. We're going to give you that opportunity to join us in our community. It's called the Connect Community. That is also in this episode show notes, and you'll hear a lot more about that in weeks and months to come. But if it's because we want to create rooms and spaces, because if a room was meaningful, then the next step matters too. If the conversation was valuable, then staying connected matters. If growth was stirred, then we have to give it somewhere to go. And that place is our connection community. And you're going to hear more about that. We've developed some tiers for you as to where you can join based on where you are in your growth. But I invite you to go to this week's episode, today's episode. You will see a link there. Click on the link where you can also learn more, and you will see us posting. You'll see us advertising. You'll see us talking about this as we create more spaces and more places for you, our valued clients, our valued viewers, our valued listeners. So yeah, we're excited. We are planning. We're moving. We are not standing still. There was something that I read on yesterday. I was in a class yesterday, and one of the things that I read to our trainees, our leaders, was you're either growing or you're dying. There's no middle spot. So you have to choose which one. Are you going to grow or you're not going to grow, which is equated to dying? We want you to grow. We're going to give you the ideas, the thoughts, the places, the spaces, the knowledge. Then it's up to you to decide what you want to do with it. So that's your responsibility. Or we're going to do ours to ensure that we at the 30, we at the Jackman Group LLC, do our due diligence, our responsibility to help and grow leaders, emerging leaders, professionals, and entrepreneurs. We want to help you as much as possible. So, folks, I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you for being an ongoing and our supporter of the 30. And as I close, I remind you of this. A good room can open something, but it's what you do after the room that determines whether it was just a moment or the beginning of something more. So don't let a good room go wasted. Thank you so much for being here. You can drop me an email, send me an email at info@jackmangroupllc.com. That's info@jackmangroupllc.com. We would love to partner with you. If you are a leader, if you're an emerging leader, an entrepreneur, we would love to partner with you with your organization for leadership training. If you're looking for a coach, an executive coach, a leadership coach, drop us an email. We would love to partner with you. Or if you want to take your organization from where you are to where it desires to be, where you want it to be, send us an email. Send us an email, info@jackmangroupllc.com. Well, folks, that's it. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for watching, for viewing. I want to thank you for being a supporter of the 30. And as we close, I say peace and love. May God bless you. May God keep you. May God protect you and your family. Until next week.